What's going on, Pederscopers? Get ready. Your mind is about to be blown. Check this out. Do you notice anything different this morning? Do you notice anything different about the intro music? Do you notice anything different about maybe something I'm wearing on my head? You see, the thing is, I am creating what's called a pattern interrupt. That's right. Welcome to the Pederscope. I am your host, Steve Pederson. I don't mean to be freaking you out. I'll take the hat off if that helps. I am bringing you another key to being the difference here on the Pederscope. This is episode 28. Yes, we're talking about pattern interrupt. What is pattern interrupt? I first learned about pattern interrupt when I was learning about marketing. Pattern interrupt is when you create something that just basically takes somebody's attention, takes somebody by surprise. They're expecting one thing, and then all of a sudden you give them something else, and it kind of brings their attention immediately to the forefront, like, what's going on? For example, today I was wearing a hat. That's something a little different than what I normally do. I played the music, the same theme music that I normally play, I just slowed it way down. You've probably seen other different types of pattern interrupt. There's a pattern that I take when I do my Pederscope. You've seen me do it in San Diego. You've seen me do it at the ocean. You've seen me do it in other rooms. This is what's called a pattern interrupt. It's just something that kind of wakes you up and says, this is different. Pattern interrupts are used all over the place to get your attention. Like I mentioned before, especially in marketing, in advertising, pattern interrupts are created because advertisers want your attention. They want to keep you engaged. A pattern interrupt can be something as simple as, like I said, wearing a hat, or it could be as complex as for example, for me, like I mentioned, I recently went to San Diego. I live in Chicago. And that was a huge pattern interrupt for me. I mean, I totally got out of my routine. I was on a different time zone. I was telling people about the noisy street that I live on. I was eating at different times, completely different routine. It seemed like it wasn't just one little event. It was just about everything that I did was a pattern interrupt, something completely different. And what they do, like I mentioned, is they bring your attention to the immediate forefront. Like, what's happening right now? This is not the normal routine here. Really what pattern interrupts do is they keep things fresh and helps you then to appreciate the pattern that you normally have. So for example, when I went to San Diego, I was like, boy, I really appreciate my pattern of getting up at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, brushing my teeth at a certain time, eating this particular thing that I normally eat at this particular time, at that particular time, and just being around my family. So there's so many routines that we are involved in that we're not even aware of. The way, the direction that you drive to work, and I'm not talking about forwards versus backwards, I'm just saying, I normally take this street, and then I take that street, and then I take that street. Or for me, when I go for a walk, I always walk the exact same pattern. And sometimes I wonder that, the people that are living around the park that I walk around, I often wonder, are they watching me? And here comes that guy again, walking in that same pattern. And every now and then I'll change things up a little bit. I'll just I'll walk in a different way. So how you can implement it is just think of, so this would be like an action step for today. One simple thing that you could pick, maybe it's the way you drive to work, or the way you do your morning or evening routine. Think of one thing that you can do differently, and just do that today. Do one simple little pattern interrupt for yourself, and just notice what that produces in you. I think it should produce just an appreciation for what you're doing, and it creates a freshness and an awareness, brings you into the now, brings you more fully, I think, into the experience that you're having. And when you do that, you're being more alive, you're being more present, and that cannot help but to help you be more of a difference, especially when your pattern affects other people. Other people, like if you wear a certain thing all the time and you wear something a little different, people might comment, say, oh, you're wearing this today. Yeah, and can create an interesting discussion. And in that way, you can help people understand about pattern interrupts as well and be a difference in their life. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Let's go back to our slow theme music. Again, this is Steve Pederson with the Daily Peterscope, Keys to Being the Difference. All of my previous Keys to Being the Difference can be found on my website at stevepederson.com. stevepederson.com. Drop on by and say hi. Guys, thanks for listening. Take care. Have a great day.